working on the pronunciation of the term. Practice is a lot of what it is.
Don't shy to ask and speak.
Don't be shy.
Must put a B.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Ask the question. I'm not going to throw the eraser at you. Say no. Throw the whole bag. No, so yeah, don't be shy about asking a question. If you have a question, believe me, there are other students in the class that have questions of the same type. It's not just you alone. I don't know anything.
If you ask question, it's useful to all others.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying for the last month. If you have a question, believe me, it's not just you that have the question. There's probably, of the 6 people right here, there's probably 4 that wonder, oh yeah, well, I'm glad she asked that. I didn't know what it was. Yeah, so, don't feel like I'm going to pick up something and throw it at you for asking a question. No, because I asked, do you have any questions? I'm asking that 10 times a day. Any more questions?
One question? Okay, one question.
Oh, question.
Okay. Well, if you do have it, just ask it. Don't think that somehow I'm going to go nuts.
In this line, never have problem. In this line, never have problem.
No problem. English, so easy.
No, it's difficult.
It's really
Really difficult.
Very easy, very simple.
The first time I work in the company, my boss is Hong Kong people. I want to put some paper that we sign, but sign in Thai it says send.
Oh my God.
Please send the.
Please send the letter, right. Not sign, send.
Not send, it's sign.
Right. So, yeah, that's why practice is important, not only to practice speaking, but to listen, so that send and sign, you know that there are 2 different things.
When I first working, I only 19 years old. She loved me.
Oh, wow, okay.
She is a Hong Kong people named Albert Soon.
Oh, really?
Albert Soon. But nowadays I don't know he's still alive or not.
Oh. Any other questions about this? Okay.
Send your name. Send your hustle. ต้องบอกพี่ชายคนนึงเป็นหัวเราะเราท้องแข็งเลยแต่แกรักเรานะขอเขาเงินเดือนเพิ่มพี่มากอีกคนอีกชั้นแล้วไอ้หัวหน้าก็ลำเอียงแล้วบอกขอให้เธอขึ้นไปขวางนะแต่สิ้นปีจะต้องน้อยกว่านี้ถ้ามันต่างกันนะเขาเป็นสลามพี่เป็นจีนพี่ขยันกว่าแล้วเด็กจีนจะขยันกว่าเพื่อนพี่คนนึงนะช่วยหาเด็กที่จีนนะเสียดายเลยไม่อยู่ได้เลยเราขอตอนนี้มีผู้หญิงคนนึงพูดตอนต้นเองชอบเป็นเลยค่ะ
Okay. Yeah, those are words like uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters, husbands, wife. Those are all family names that are important to know, so that even in dealing with your own family, you can pronounce the words correctly and understand the meaning of what you're talking about. Okay, we'll start some new words today. We have a few minutes left, so we'll take some new words here. Measurements this time. Okay, we'll try these and see what the meaning. Length. 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 Width. 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 Area. Area. Wide. Wide. Narrow. Narrow. Yeah, the key here is length, the, length, width, wide, narrow, narrow, length, width, wide, narrow area. What is the length?
Long distance.
Right. How long is something? How long is that? What is the length of this line? What is the length of the floor? What is how long is it? How high? What is the length of the wall? How high is it? What is the measurement? What is the length of the wall? What is width? Width. Right, well, right. How wide? How wide? What is the width of the room? The length and the width. You have the length and the width of the room. So somebody would come in, and if they wanted to put flooring down or carpeting or something, they would have to measure the length of the room and then the width of the room.
From side to side.
Side to side would be the width. From here to here, the width. The length from here to here. The length and the width. How wide is it? How long is it? How long is the floor? Oh, it's so long. So then the area. What in this case, what would be the area?
Space.
The area would be this whole interior. You would have to put carpeting, if you wanted to put carpeting in the room, once you know the length and the width, then you would be able to determine the area, which would be the width times the length. And then you would know how much of the floor needs carpeting. So that you could say, well, we need so much carpeting. And they come in, and they would put down carpeting, and there you are. The width of the room, the length of the room. Multiply the two, and you have the area. Wide, how wide is it? How wide is the river? Maybe 100 yards. How wide is the river? How wide is the floor? How wide is the building? Narrow. Yeah, very, very close together. This could be the main street, and this little narrow side street, very narrow. Close, sides are close together, very narrow. So you would have a wide street here and a narrow road or pathway right here, very narrow, very tight. Could be very, very tight in a way, narrow. Narrow, wide. So if it's narrow, it's like this. If it's wide, it's like that. Wide, narrow. The area. of the room. Or he lives in a very beautiful area. It could be, an area could be a large general space in, let's say, right outside the city, in a very rural area. Rural? Rural. What is rural area? Rural. City of Bangkok, on the map, let's say. City of Bangkok. Bangkok. The rural areas would be out here, where there might be a few small villages, maybe some farms, some rubber plantations, and other areas like that in the rural part of the area. The main city, and as you move away from the main city into the suburbs, you're getting into a more rural area, less developed, less concentrated with buildings and things like that. Not so busy. Less and less and less and less. As you get away, you go from the main city into the suburbs, and then maybe beyond that into a more rural area where it's maybe roads but no villages or anything, maybe farms, rubber plantation, cattle farm or something like that. Away from the main population and away from the suburbs, which are the suburbs being the area, suburbs, the areas just outside the city. Sub, it means less than, like subtract, take away, and herb is Latin for city. So under the city, so to speak, or away from the city. Suburban part of the town, outside the city. And then when you go past the city and the suburbs, you get into the rural areas. City, suburbs, rural areas. Narrow, wide area, width, length. Fit, it's the TH sound there. Width and length. Fit. Length, width, and length. How wide is it? How long is it? That would tell you the area that you're involved with. It could be the area of the floor, the area of the temple. It could all be measured in some way. Suburbs, rural area, narrow lane, let's say, a narrow lane, L-A-N-E, a lane. A lane, a lot of times, a very narrow street, maybe no traffic at all, it's just not wide enough. Any questions about the words?
Beginning first, teacher, downtown, and then suburb, and last one, rural.
City,
City, suburb,
suburb,
and then rural
areas. As you get further and further away from Bangkok, you find less and less people, gathered together, less people, less buildings, fewer buildings, farther and farther away into the rural areas where farms, maybe a rubber plantation of trees going, a lake maybe, or a pond, pond. What is a pond? Well, let's say, I'm sure somewhere in Thailand there's a large enclosed body of water. It's not a river, and it's not connected to the ocean. It's its own thing. Usually, maybe in the mountains, this area, you would have a lake. Well, a pond, in a simple way, would be a much smaller lake, very small. A pond could be in an area where there is a depression, let's say, in the ground, maybe like that, and the water from around there and the rain and stuff like that fills up right here, and you would have maybe a few fish or something like that in a small little enclosed body of water, as opposed to a lake, which could be quite large. You have a river, much like the Chao Phraya River here, a lake, a large enclosed body of water. It doesn't run off, it's enclosed. And a pond would be a small pool of water in a small area, maybe just as large as the class area right here, something like that. And not deep, shallow. Shallow, you know, send a few meters or 1 meter or something like that, not very deep. So you have a pond, a lake, a river, and an ocean.
Like canal. Canal.
A channel.
Canal.
Oh, canal.
Canal.
Right. What is a canal? Can. Ow.
Canal.
Ow.
Canal.
A canal.
Canal.
A canal. I had a mule. Her name was Sal. Worked 10 years on the Erie Canal. A canal. It's a man-made river, so to speak. A canal. Maybe it connects 2 lakes. You could have a lake and a lake, and maybe they decided to build a canal between the 2 lakes. Or a canal from the lake to the nearby river. It's a man-made, not natural. It's not there, it's man-made to connect usually 2 bodies of water for shipping, moving things back and forth, so that if you had a city here and a city here and a lake, you could build a canal and the boats would go back and forth and back and forth. There's many canals in the United States, the most famous being the Erie, E-R-I-E, Erie Canal. Had a mule, her name was Sal. Worked 10 years on the Erie Canal. So there's a lot of different things, different words that you can come up with. Ocean, river, lake, pond, canal, to show different types of water or bodies of water. A canal connects the lakes, and therefore they were able to ship things back and forth. This is going back couple hundred years when you know they had it was important to be able to ship things in boats from one city to another. Right now they fly them, but in those days a canal was critical. Canal. Canal. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Not canal. Canal.
Canal.
Canal.
Yeah, just think of it, you know, go slow. Don't rush it. Canal.
Canal.
Canal. Had a mule, her name was Sal. Worked 10 years on the Erie Canal. 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 Okay? Keep practicing those words. Because as you can see, the mispronunciation, what? What are you talking, what? What are you talking about? What? What? Oh, canal. Oh, right. Oh yeah, canal, sure, no problem. A body of water connecting two lakes, let's say. Okay, that's it for today. We'll pick it up from here tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll pick it up from here tomorrow. Okay? Okay.
Ôi, không cay một. Ôi, em mấy cặp nữa thì em mấy cặp.
That's it.
ก็จะถ่ายไปนี่จะให้เครื่องถ่ายหาชื่อมันไม่เจอวางไว้ได้แล้วเวลาสมัครนี่ไว้ได้แล้วนี่ว่าจะพาไปเช็คมาเช็คแล้วเขาต้องมีอะไรวันนี้พระหัตถ์ยังทำอะไรใครพาไปชอบกินอะไรเอาที่นั่นเคยกินทำไมเคยกินที่นั่นเคยกินที่นั่นอร่อยไปด้วยกันไม่ได้เลยสีอะไรจะพูดแบบไหนสีลงดู